Make your next vacation unforgettable. On Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Star of the Seas, it's everything you've loved about every family vacation you've ever been on, with mind-blowing thrills at the largest water park at sea, 7 onboard pools for every level of chill, more than 40 ways to dine and drink, and even more to enjoy at our award-winning private island, Perfect Day at Coco Cay. This is the new Star of the Seas. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
Mic up in front of my face. Hello and welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Hope you had a nice, relaxed... What am I kidding? You have kids. There's nothing nice or relaxing about any weekend day for a long time. But it's still, I hope you feel loved and appreciated because you should be. Carolyn, how are you?
I love how you glossed right over that. How was your Father's Day, Branden? Like, you clearly want to talk about it.
Pain in the ass. That's all.
What?
It was a pain in the ass.
And Father's Day is a pain in your ass.
Because of what? You asked me to be honest. I'll just be honest. It was a pain in the ass.
Why was it a pain in the ass?
Because we made a ton of plans before we realized that it was Father's Day.
Oh.
Okay. So both of my daughter's birthdays are in July, and the older they get, the more everybody is out of town.
You mean in June?
No, their birthdays are in July.
Okay.
Okay. So the older they get, the more like their friends are out of town, we're out of town on vacation, and they're both like, my friends are never at my birthday parties anymore. So we decided this year to move them up a month into June. And we decided this like 6 months ago. We just picked 2 Sundays in June. My one daughter was last weekend on the beach, and my younger daughter was yesterday at the house. So it was just, it was just a lot of work set, but it was great. It was fine. Was it like I wanted to lay on the couch and watch the U.S. Open, but okay, I don't have to do that. I was there with.
That's what makes you such a great dad. So let me say, I know you had a great time because you're well loved, but happy Father's Day. That's the proof in the pudding right there. You wanted to be laid on the couch, scratching your belly. Like
That's true.
Right?
And then when I realized there's this one kid that my daughter has a crush on, and she's like, Dad, so he is bringing his own blanket, okay, for us to when we start the movie. Because it was like a movie night. We were like playing out in the yard, bunch of kids, and then we were putting on a scary movie. Right? I went, he's bringing a blanket for what? She goes, because, when it gets cold, like during the movie, there'll be a blanket over us.
Oh my God.
I'm like, that is 100% not happening. 100%. I'll grab the kid by the neck and I'll throw him into the street, bringing a blanket into my house to put over him and you. No way. No fucking way. So the short answer is there were no blankets during the movie. Everyone just kind of sat there.
But you know what? It's commendable that she tried, Branden. It really is. That was that the older one or the younger one?
The younger one, the 12-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That takes some something to say you're 12 years old and you're going to bring a blanket. I mean, what?
I mean, this little bastard was wearing like sunglasses inside, like thinking he's all cool. Like I really wanted to smack this kid. But
did you try to shake your hand? Oh my God.
No, he didn't come anywhere near me. I guess like the word's out that, because my older daughter, the first guy that she was dating, I saw him walking on the street, like leaving school. And, and I'm a nice guy. I walk up to him and I go, hey, I'm Frankie's dad. And he goes, okay, oh, yeah, hi. All right. And I have my window down. I'm like, come here, say hey. And I go to shake his hand, and it was like it was totally limp. And so I grabbed him. I'm like, shake my damn hand. What's your problem? Shake my hand. And he was like, okay. And so then that apparently made me like scary dad. And so now, which is great. I'll take that.
I was gonna say you probably like
I will
that. Let's not
I
lie.
will totally take that. So, but it's
Mhm.
funny you mentioned the handshaking thing. Like these kids, these teenage kids are afraid to come up and shake my hand because they're afraid that I'm gonna, tell them that
Twist
they're
it off.
weaklings. Yeah, that they're weaklings. Whatever. I don't know.
Mhm.
I was taught, a nice firm handshake, not like too much where you're trying to like hurt somebody, but like it's just a good
Mhm.
firm handshake. Look them in the eye. How you doing? Whatever. But I
Yeah.
don't. Anyway.
It's a weird thing because I have the opposite with my son, who's my third child, but he's my first son.
Mm.
And so his girlfriend that he's been dating, and she's really sweet, really nice, but she has this thing where, and my son has had a couple other you know, little girlfriends, but nothing like hand holding, like
Yeah.
nobody's bringing blankets over. Let me just
Right.
so this thing is happening where it's like he's nervous around this father, and I'm like, why are you
Mm.
nervous? My kid, I'm not just saying this, he's a really good kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's 16, and he's really sweet, and he's not like a player at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know, what is it's like the reverse thing where it's like just because the girl doesn't mean that the dad has the right to be all, this is my daughter. It's like, this is my son. You know what I mean? Like, my son doesn't have to prove himself to anybody. He will shake your hand and have a firm handshake, but like until he gives you something to think that he's done something that you don't look at you. Look at you. No.
Agree to
What?
disagree. Agree to
Whoa.
disagree.
Why?
Agree to
Why?
disagree. Because I learned this when I was in high school. I was 17. My first girlfriend, I didn't have a girlfriend until I was 17 years old. Okay, fine. Make fun of me all you want. I don't care. It's true. Okay, so
Why would I
uh,
make fun of you for that?
she was a year older than me. She was a senior. I was a junior. Okay, and her parents didn't like me. They just
Mm-hmm.
didn't like me for no reason. They just didn't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And we dated for almost the whole school year until she left for school for college. Okay, and so early in the school year, they really just, oh, yeah, you're going out with that Morgan, whatever. Right. And she would say, gosh, my mom and dad, they just really don't like you. I'm like, is it causing like problems at home? She goes, whatever, it's fine. I'm 18. I can do what I want. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun. But then over the course of that year, I did have to prove myself to her parents. I did have to
Mm-hmm.
prove to them that I'm not going to drive like an idiot. Okay. That I'm not going to drink and drive, that I'm not going to go out looking for trouble, that I'm not going to take her to like dangerous parts of town, that I'm like all of these things that a parent is going to be worried about. I would think more so over their daughter than with the son. Okay. And so by the end of our time dating, hold
Mm-hmm.
on, by the end of our time dating, um, her mom would say things like, where are you going? Okay. Is Branden going? Okay, then you're fine. Then go ahead. So it was a big shift. And I realized that. And I was a young guy, but I realized that I'm like, oh, okay. They just needed to trust me and trust that I was gonna do my best and not actually put her in any danger, but do my best to keep her from being in danger.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. But like, I feel the same way about my daughters. I have two that are older than him that I do about
Mhm.
my son, where it's like he would be the type of kid that would go up to you and shake your hand.
Okay.
I mean, you would like him. I mean, he can talk to adults, and he's not like, anyway, I just think that it's not a gender thing. I mean, for me, it's like, I think
Agreed.
it's
Like we'll all be worried about our kids, male or female. I'm just saying, like
right.
in the general dating dynamic that we grew up with, okay,
Hmm.
there's a
Hmm.
little bit more, in my opinion, at least in my experience, of responsibility on the male in the relationship to kind of be a protector from right or wrong. That's just how we grew up. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I think less so today. And I think it's great that it's evolving that way, that everyone's responsible for themselves. But I would also feel better about one of my daughters, dating a guy who can take care of himself, and who, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, I completely agree. I just don't think out of the gate, like give my son a chance to shake your hand. Give my son a chance to like, he's a good kid. Like I have the girl that he dated before,
Yeah.
his family, they let him park his car at their place during, school because they live close to the school and they love him. I mean, he's a great kid.
What
I'm
if he
allowed
showed
to
up? What if he showed up with his own blanket on movie night?
You know what? That's what I'm saying. Okay. I mean, that would not, that would be like, and then the sunglasses on top of that, and then
Oh
not even
God,
coming up
this
to say hi.
this little
I'm sorry, uh,
bastard
Morgan
with his
Prodigy, but or
sunglasses.
progeny,
Uh,
like,
uh, a dad friend took me aside and said, "What's with the sunglasses that kid's wearing?"
I mean, you gotta like, what's he trying to like pull off here,
I guess
right?
maybe that's just his thing. He wants to be he's being the cool kid. Oh, with the
I know, but
sunglasses
it's a
inside.
cool. When have you ever heard of the cool kid asking to bring a blanket? Like, right? It's like, I don't.
Okay.
That's
Anyway,
a new one.
what's that?
I said that's a new one for
Yeah, I
me.
know. It was new to me too. It was new to me. Like we don't have blankets at the house. But anyway, listen. Regardless, I'm glad it's done. It was a great party. Everyone had a lot of fun. Um, and yeah, that was my Father's Day.
Well, happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're living the dream.
So let's talk about this. Gosh, this episode fucked me up. I mean,
I know. I know. I know.
all right. So it's back in the '70s, and it had
Yeah.
to be back in the '70s because I hazard to say that I don't think something like this could happen today, probably because of this case, in large part because of the victim notification kind of cycle
Mhm.
that happens now. Okay,
Mhm.
because this is just insane to me, just insane to me.
I know.
So prior
Mhm.
to the initial attack, this Campbell guy, what was his first name?
Charles.
Charles Campbell, Charles Rodman Campbell. He didn't have any history with this woman or her daughter or the neighbor before, correct?
No.
It
Nope.
was a random.
Random.
Did he have a history of this type of violent behavior before? Did he have
Um,
any like
I
assault charges or anything against him?
think he had like growing up as a teenager, he was, I mean, his parents pretty much dropped him off. It sounds like at the grandmother's place because they're like, we're out of here. We can't deal with this kid. And he had a lot of teenage run-ins with police and um,
Oh wow!
things like that. And I think he had told his psychologist that he'd done a lot of drugs like meth when he was 13 or whatever. But his brain, when they during a time when he was in prison, they did studies on him in terms of like they did a CAT scan or something, and his brain was fine. So even though he had said that he did a lot of drug use, it sounds like that has nothing to do with what happened,
Well, I don't know
right?
if I told you this, but something similar is happening to with. They're not friends of ours. They're kind of acquaintances. Um, they have a 14 or 15-year-old boy who is just a nightmare, like a nightmare, and they're giving him up. They're like throwing him back after 15 years. Um,
Throwing
and
him
we
back where? Where do you throw
orphan
sick
like an
kids back?
an
And
orphanage.
he's their blood child?
Yeah, yeah, like an orphanage. So when my
Wait a
oldest daughter,
second.
hold on, just hear this. Hold on. When my oldest daughter was in like, gosh, second grade, we were still living in Hollywood, and she has gastrointestinal kind of disease, okay, like a genetic kind of thing. And she's fine, but it manifests in certain ways. And the school had to know about it because she has dietary restrictions, okay? And it got to this kid who knew that there was a girl there that had some kind of weakness, and every chance that he got, he would sneak up on her and just punch her in the stomach, okay? To the point where we left the school. And they gave him like a shadow, like there was always an adult that was with him at all times to make sure he didn't act out. And he would like lose his tail and just like run so the teacher couldn't find him. And every time he was somewhere hurting somebody. Okay. And so we leave the school and we kind of forget all and we don't think about him anymore. And then this just came up because he's a little older than my daughter. We have some friends that are still friends with him. And they're like, they're giving him up. Like, and I had the same reaction you had. I said, that's their blood kid. What are you talking about? They're giving him up. They go, he's old enough now and he's grown up enough where he can really inflict damage to his parents. And that's what he's been doing. He's beating up his parents in their own home. And they're like, we can't handle this anymore. We just can't handle it. See ya. You're gone. And they probably already have, like, driving him to a fucking orphanage here in LA and just dropping him off. See you later. Good luck.
I mean, that is so tough.
No kidding. No kidding. But you hear that a lot. Like, I hear that with I have friends that are therapists, and they're like, that's something that, like with the Tommy Sullivan thing in Devil Within in season 1, parents realize, especially moms realize, that when they have sons, when they turn 14 or 15, suddenly they're strong enough to overpower you if they want to. And you can't really force them to do anything anymore. Right. Yeah. And that's exactly.
No, when I would, I'm not saying this with a straight face, but like when I played one-on-one with my son, who's 16, like I'm just there to kind of go like this.
Yeah.
I'm not actually like participating in a real way.
If he wants to knock you down, he could knock you down.
No, I literally say to him, I will do this with you, but do not hurt me. That's because he's really strong.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're right. I mean, it's like if they want to be a bad seed, like what the name of this episode is, like it sounds like that's what this guy was. He started out bad and he just got worse and worse and
stayed
worse.
That way. And his parents dumped him at grandma's.
20 years old when he
the initial thing. With the home invasion, the rape with the little girl like watching, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, she was a year old, so
right. Yeah. And he goes away for that. You're supposed to get a long time. Nice explanation of concurrent sentences. Can't believe, gosh, you hippies up in Washington. Oh my goodness. So you give him these concurrent sentences, and he gets out in less than 7 years. And so the thing that blew my mind was that no remorse. He's like, yeah, when I get out, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her daughter, and I'm going to kill the neighbor that all testified to get me put away. You watch. I'm doing it.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that happened.
The unbelievable part is that they let him out and no one calls her and says, hey, remember that guy that did all that terrible stuff and said he was going to kill your whole family and your best friend? He's out now, and he's in a halfway house 10 minutes away.
I know. I mean, people were pissed. That doesn't even come close to describing what the feeling was. And, she comes forward and the neighbor comes forward. They do their civic duty. They are bravely testify. He threatens them in open court. I mean, that should have been plastered all over his parole. Like, this is what he did. This is what he said. And it was like the system just totally broke.
It's like a horror movie.
Yes.
It's like a horror movie. Yeah. It's like, what was that movie with, I'm never going to remember her name. The movie was called Double Jeopardy. And it was a really awful interpretation of the legal precedent of double jeopardy. But basically, a woman gets arrested and sentenced to jail for killing her husband that she didn't do. And she gets out of jail. And she says, well, double jeopardy applies.
Was that a Judd?
It was Ashley Judd. Thank you. It was Ashley Judd. She gets out of jail. She's like, well, I can't be tried for the same crime twice. So now I'm actually going to go murder the bastard.
Yeah.
So, but so that was
an innocent little girl. Like all of them were innocent, but to be able to do that to a child, that's next level. And I think that was the point of, like, if anybody deserves to get executed,
we're gonna get to that part in a second. But so the neighbor, they stayed friends, obviously. The neighbor came over the house as she normally does, just to check on her friend and the kid. And so was this guy Was he casing the house? Was he waiting for them all to be together? Or did he just get
Well,
lucky?
I think that he was casing the house, and she, he hit the spot the day, right. I don't want to say perfect timing, but like, I think she had a history of going over there and helping, especially when she was sick. She was sick
Right.
that week. And so Barbara would come and help make dinner. And so, he waited for her to come. He somehow knew, or, based on his casing of the place,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, her poor husband. I mean, can you even imagine that?
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. As your kids get older, some things about parenting gets easier, sort of. I'm just going to say from the start, when it comes to my kids, I've been a little lax in the whole chores department. Why? Because sometimes it just feels like it's easier for me to do it than to ask them over and over and over again. I know it's wrong. I get the manipulation. They tag team me with the whole sibling blame. But mom, so-and-so isn't helping. And how many times I've tried to do the whole, okay, we're going to get organized with the allowance, the dry erase board system. But it ends up feeling like something else I have to manage. And not well. Which is why I'm branching out and getting some help with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families. Parents can send money to their kids and keep an eye on their spending and saving. The app also has games that teach kids money skills in a fun, accessible way. But what I love is the chores feature. This is where you can set up one-time or recurring chores, customized to your family's needs, and reward kids with allowance for a job well done. The reason I'm so jazzed about Greenlight is because I recently realized just how important it is for kids to work hard and get paid for it. I was driving home and I actually saw a kid, maybe 10 years old, mowing the lawn in my neighborhood. And it reminded me of when I was a kid and we used to work like that for a pittance, to be sure. But still, to get that cold hard cash in my little hand that I'd earned and got to spend however I wanted was an amazing feeling. And Greenlight is a modern version of that. Sign up for Greenlight today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/mischief. That's MISCHIEF. That's greenlight.com/mischief to try Greenlight for free. Greenlight.com/mischief.
So good, so good, so good.
Ready to rack to school and save big? Get to your Nordstrom Rack store today for thousands of deals from just $20.
Because I want to look fresh.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
I got a new backpack.
Score everyone's favorite denim, sneakers, boots, and activewear from Nike, Levi's, Steve Madden, Madewell, and Free People. Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack. Shop Nordstrom Rack and make it the best school year ever.
This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
OMG, yes.
It's an absolute riot.
Woo!
And the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time.
What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays. What deeply out of touch old person came up with that? You did. Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
It's Wednesday, Addams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
So she goes over there to check on her friend, and then he'd been casing the place, and he just goes in there and they had no idea. They didn't even know that he was out.
They had
Can
no
you
idea.
imagine
They had no idea. But like, imagine like her thinking and she survives this. And of course she's never going to be the same. I mean, to survive such a horrific thing, you know, she pulled her life together and got it on track and was a great mom and, you know, stayed in that place and was friends with them. But she had a feeling that somebody was out there watching her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, imagine her thinking, gosh, am I just being like, I felt so much compassion for that. Like it's like Groundhog Day. You know, you wake up and it's like you have that same fear. You've got someone, and it was true. He was there. You know, they believed that he was there casing the place, and he was, because he knew their schedule. He knew that they still lived there.
But imagine, talking about fear, try to put yourself in the situation where she goes to the door and sees this guy. Right? Like, it had to not seem real for a second. He's supposed to be in jail for a super long time.
I mean, I think,
and he's out and she doesn't know, and then he comes in and just starts slicing necks. That's all he did. He slit all their throats.
Well, and he sexually assaulted her again and
Oh,
horribly beat her.
Right. She got the worst of it. Oh man. Whew. Okay. So they catch the guy in relatively short order.
They caught him quick. I mean, there was so much evidence here. You know, you threaten someone in open court, you're 5 miles away.
And then you find their bodies, and then you have some of her jewelry near you.
Yeah.
Or by your little weird fucking river camp. Right. You throw jewelry in the water. Okay.
I mean, there's no way he's getting out of this. No way.
So this where I thought that you had misspoken, where he was hanged in the 90s. In the 90s, we were still hanging.
He was the last one in Washington State. It took forever. He went through appeal. I mean, he did not want to go. He fought it like.
Right. He was just playing. He was just doing like, I'm not going to make a decision. Everything just to stall. I'm not going to stand up and physically not going to walk out of my cell. You're going to have to carry me there.
And then not only that, I think I'm sorry that we're laughing because it's just so terrible. But like, by opting out of making a choice, he becomes the victim of this hanging. It's like, dude, you could have picked lethal injection. You could have never killed anybody to begin with, and you wouldn't be in this situation. But you made choices, and now you're going to opt out. So then it becomes this whole thing where he's the victim. He sees himself as the victim.
No one else does, which is good. Maybe some super far left lunatic might in some way see him as a victim of something.
There were people that this case really was polarizing for the state, because it was at that time where it was like, we don't know if we want to kill people anymore. And there was a lot of people there that were like against him getting the death penalty. And so it's like, they didn't agree with what he did, obviously, but he had sympathy in that way where they were saying, we don't want him to get the death penalty. So, you know, he did garner some sympathy with this hanging thing in terms of the people who don't believe in the death penalty, not sympathy in his crimes, obviously.
Sure, right. And listen, I'm not like some fervent pro death penalty guy, but in cases like this, what are we going to do?
I mean,
right? What you're going to wait and let him start a prison ministry and find Jesus and everything's great and maybe help some people? Okay. Berkowitz did that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I would consider, and you know how cynical I am about religion, right? I would consider Berkowitz's transformation genuine. He's admitted what he's done. He's like, he's turned down possibilities for parole, writing letters to the governor. Please don't parole me. I don't deserve it. I'm where I'm supposed to be. I ruined lives. You know, and I'm helping people on the inside find Jesus, and I think his beliefs are genuine and all that. But I mean, my goodness.
This guy is not that. He was doing practicing roundhouse kicks in his cell, and the guards were actually scared of him. And he had when they finally got him out of his cell on death row, I believe they found like makeshift knives that he'd somehow been able to get in there.
And given everything that I just said, still to hang somebody in an age after like the internet was invented, okay,
Yeah.
and we're still hanging people, just seems so archaic and barbaric and fucking weird. Like I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. But you know what? Something I learned when to use hanged or hung.
I was having a hard time with that.
Grammatically.
Yes.
Do you know when you do it? Inanimate objects are nope. Inanimate objects are hung. I hung the plant, I hung the flag, I hung the whatever. Living beings are hanged. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that.
How did you find that out?
Because I wanted to know. Because I've been using them interchangeably. Not that I talk about hanging shit a lot, but and then I was like, I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. And this inspired me to learn what the right way to say it was, and I figured it out.
So this episode is what inspired you to look it up.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I think that's why I described it in such detail, is that it just seems like what does that look like? Because like you said, it's so archaic. And I mean, I think we've talked about this before, like just the death chamber itself, like the bulbous kind of, like, it's really scary,
Well,
like,
the weird thing for me was that the same manner of execution that brought justice to the conspirators in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, okay, 130 years later, was the same execution style for this guy. It's just weird. It's just weird.
The thing is that he didn't even stand on his own 2 feet. Like, they had to have a board.
It was a trap door. It's a fucking trap door. It's a rope and a trap door.
Yeah.
Right. Like and he said it in an interview, that the one clip that you had of him, sometimes it takes 5, 10, 15 minutes to die. And he was right there. It took him about 9 minutes. If your neck doesn't snap, you strangle.
It took from 12:08 to 12,
right,
to 12:14.
Oh, 6 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. 6 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy because, like, one of the Lincoln assassinators, his neck didn't snap. Most of the time, the neck snaps and you're gone. If it doesn't, you just wriggle around for a while till you asphyxiate. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about what he did to his victims, like it's hard for me to,
I listen. You'll find zero sympathy from me for the guy. You'll find, oh man, a sliver of sympathy for the manner in which we killed him, and you'll find a ton of just what the fuck in me that was still on the books in the 90s, and it went
right. But he chose it. He chose that.
What's that? What's that Rush lyric? If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Right?
The dual guitars.
Yeah, 100%. So by not making a decision, he made a really terrible decision for himself. But there was the last hanging was a year later in Delaware. I think there was still a hanging in 1996.
I think he thought that hanging was going to bring him to a stay of execution, so he had to continue with it. You know what I mean? I mean, he was hoping up until the last minute, but then once it got to a certain threshold, like I think 24 hours, like he couldn't go back on it.
Right.
So, what he thought could potentially save him, that it was cruel and unusual punishment, it turns out like this is what's going to happen. You chose it.
Oh, well, I'm glad that era in American jurisprudence is over, death by hanging. But there was something like crazy, like they were still using the guillotine in Europe until like the 70s. Now,
I think that's the worst.
But it's the quickest. It's the worst for the living. right? It's the quickest for the condemned.
I just can't. There's something about that that's so.
Did you see Napoleon? Did you see the movie Napoleon?
No.
It opens with a beheading of
Oh my gosh.
Marie Antoinette.
It just is so like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, what did you think about the second part of the episode?
The second part of the episode. What do you mean?
With Hallie Ann Seaman.
That's crazy. That's an interesting. It's just this. I don't understand this. I don't understand this guy. You know, people like this. That the innocence of everything. You know, I mean, I don't know. Like, how did that even happen? You know what I mean? Like,
it happened 4 months after what he had done to Renee.
Right. I get it. But I mean, like,
how does someone want to do that to a person?
Yeah, I guess like, I mean, does that make him a serial killer? Does it make, you know what I mean? Like, it's
absolutely. I mean, I think the technical definition of a serial killer is somebody who kills 2 or more people that are strangers to them. Something along those lines. And I definitely
that was
think
updated. It used to be 3.
Right, and now it's 2.
And then came 2, which added thousands of serial killers to the registry.
Right.
You know?
But see, you could see he was ramping up, Branden. That's the thing. Remember, he let Renee live. You know, he walked away.
Right.
And then Hallie, he did not.
He did not walk away.
He did not walk away.
So the second one happened before he was convicted and sent to jail for the first one.
Yes.
Right.
When he was a fugitive for 13 months. So, like, what else did he do?
Right. So that's what I was getting at. Do they think there are more than the seeming lady? Or
They do. Because, like,
but this is almost 50 years ago now.
I know, but like, look at what got solved. And the only way it got solved was through this serendipitous, actually a lot of really hard work, by people who really care. That's how it got solved. But if they wouldn't have tested his DNA, because remember, he was long dead by the time he was put into the system. He was put into the system, this legislation came into effect in 2019. And then, they had to go and figure out how to get his DNA. They got it. And then they uploaded it, and that's how it was solved, but like,
wouldn't there have been more hits by now already? Like,
but
if
think about it, Branden, that's the thing. What if there are more victims, but in a jurisdiction where they don't have a cold case unit? They don't, like, it really depends on where he might have.
Right. On law enforcement uploading information into this nationwide database. Yeah.
And in the 70s, like, the fact that they were able to get a DNA profile that he'd left behind
at all. Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that have to go our way in order for that to happen. So there could be. I mean, he definitely has the profile for it,
He was young, though. He's a little young to be a serial killer when he started at 20.
He was young, but he I think that there are more based on what he did. Because it was 4 months after he attacked Renee. And then he wasn't captured for another,
9
11 months.
Yeah, 11 months.
Yeah. 13 months.
Yeah, 11 months.
4. Yeah. So I hope there's not, but, there could be some murder that happened, and, it just, who knows? Maybe her remains weren't found. Maybe there was no forensic evidence left on the body. Like, and this was a Ted Bundy time where it's like they thought at first maybe, but then they were like, let's track it back to him.
Because you know what they say? They don't stop.
They don't stop.
Right? Unless they die or get killed or move away. But
I think they're changing. I think they're changing that mindset. I think that they do.
Really?
I think that they do think that they can stop. If something else comes into their mind, or they're occupied, they get married, like something changes.
Because Ridgway slowed down for a while when he got married, right?
He did, yeah. And I think, I don't know about the Golden State Killer. I think he did too, but I don't know for sure. I mean, I'm off of the top of my head right now.
Wow. Well, maybe, maybe new stuff will come out as more as more of the smaller kind of law enforcement agencies get their shit together with uploading,
I mean, talking with
evidence.
Roll, he seemed like, yeah. What else did he do? Like, I mean,
man, oh man.
He seemed really like animated about it. So
why did it take the 4 months to get him?
you mean the 13 months?
I'm sorry. Yes. Forgive me. The 13 months to get him that first time.
I don't know.
He was like a drifter, right? You hate drifters. You hate drifters so much. He was like this drifter, and
I think that being 20 years old, you just don't think that a 20-year-old's going to do that.
Yeah.
You just don't. You don't think that.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm interested to see. Keep an eye on it if anything comes up with this.
Definitely will.
I'm just still shocked that a state in the United States of America participated in a death by hanging in the 90s. That just seems so ridiculous to me.
Because we're so hippie here. We're such hippies.
See, that's the weird thing. It's such a hippie state, but then you're like, down the book, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to hang him. Right?
He chose it.
We have to hang him. We have to.
I don't know why you think that. I guess I'm surprised that you think that that's so cruel. Like
death by hanging.
You've read The Green Mile. Like if they don't put the water on the cap just right, that's
sure. But listen, out of all of the ways,
I knew we were gonna get here.
Out of all of the ways that we have, all right, look, hanging, firing squad, electric chair, gas chamber, lethal injection. Okay. Firing squad was still a thing up into the 80s. Okay. You could request death by firing squad.
Yeah, that's I think
barbaric.
Lethal injection is I mean, out of all of those.
Descending order. Lethal injection is the easiest. You just go to sleep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Gas chamber is a little scary. Okay.
I know. Have you seen those gas chambers?
Yeah, it's a little scary, but then you fall asleep and then you're dead. Electric chair. What the fuck is that all about? That's what I'm
saying. You brutal. Think that
old Sparky. Okay.
When did they start? Are they still doing that method?
That's still on the books in a couple of places. Electric chair is.
I think the electric chair is more inhumane than the hanging.
I don't know. I mean, think about hanging. It's just okay. Anyway.
No. What did you say? Do you think that the electric chair is more inhumane, or the hanging is more inhumane than the electric chair?
Gosh. It depends on if it goes bad. Obviously.
That's the thing. You can't, apples to apples.
Apples to apples, but they could both go bad.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So knowing that they
snap both. And you're flopping around.
I know, but if
electric chair goes bad, you're burning.
I know, that's why I understand. I just think that the electric chair.
If I had to choose, I would take my chances with hanging with my neck snapping like that. That's what I would do.
That's what I'm saying. I think the electric chair is like.
Did you read Incident at Owl Creek Bridge?
No.
Owl Creek Bridge. You didn't read that story?
Mm-mm.
It's a Civil War era story it's a short story about a guy who is accused of either desertion or aiding the enemy or whatever. Bottom line is, he has a young wife and a baby, but he's arrested, and they summarily decide they're going to execute him. Put a rope around his neck, tie it off to the pillar of railing of this bridge, and just push him over. And as soon as the rope goes taut, it snaps, and he lands in the river. And now it's a chase. It's like The Fugitive kind of. They're chasing him through the woods, and all he's trying to do is get back to his wife and his kid. And then the big twist at the end was that everything from the rope snapping till he gets shot, the whole chase and seeing his wife and everything was a dream that he had as his neck snapped. Like the book ends with, yeah, it's very famous, like almost like O. Henry type of a darker O. Henry twist ending at the
That's
end.
dark.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's great.
That's
It's great. It's been there's been a lot of iterations of that story over the years, but it's good. It's good. All right. Well, I have to run, but great episode, enlightening and unsettling. So good for you. And look forward to what you have next week. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. If you enjoyed the episode, please consider giving us a review or rate us on Apple Podcasts, and please share with your friends. And please consider supporting the great companies that support our show, because without them, we couldn't do it. For Criminal Mischief, I'm Branden Morgan with Carolyn. Anything you'd like to add?
We will see you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe out there.
Okay.
From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Branden Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.